Ladies and gentlemen, once again requesting everyone to kindly be seated, please. So while we are getting the session started, we have a small announcement for all our participants, delegates, guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we would request you all to kindly hand over your lanyards at the registration counter at the end of the day when you leave the venue so that they can be recycled and reused. Once again, a kind request for all our participants to hand over their lanyards at the registration counter in the evening when they leave the venue so that they can be recycled and reused. Thank you. So we are now moving into session 2. A very warm welcome to each one of you once again. This session will focus on a highly relevant theme, Convergence of Technologies, FTTH, 5G and satellite for a connected future. As we all know, technology is the backbone of the Digital India mission and convergence of fiber optic networks, 5G and satellite communications will play a pivotal role in ensuring that India is fully connected from its cities to the most remote regions. This session will bring together some of the brightest minds in the industry to share their insights on the latest technological advancements and innovations during the future of connectivity. And to guide us through this technical session, it is my pleasure to invite the session chair, Shri Vivek Duaji, Senior General Manager at Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. Let's put our hands together to welcome Shri Vivek Dua sir. With extensive experience in the telecommunication industry, Shri Dua is well versed in the challenges and opportunities in converging technologies to create a connected future. A very warm welcome to you, sir. I have the privilege in inviting Mr. Mustafa Golam, Regional Head APAC at Taara, who will be speaking on the theme Fast Affordable Connectivity Using Beams of Light with Taara's innovative technology. Mr. Golam will share how light-based communication systems can be a game changer in providing fast and affordable connectivity in underserved regions. I have the privilege to invite Mr. Saket Saraugi, Director of Sales for India and SAARC at Commscope. With Commscope leading the way in connectivity solutions, Mr. Saraugi will share his expertise on the role of fiber and 5G in shaping the future of digital infrastructure. I now invite Mr. Sumit Agarwal, Global Manager, Pre-Sales at Norden Communications, who will provide a technical perspective on how Norden Communication is contributing to the seamless integration of FTTH, 5G and satellite technologies to achieve robust network infrastructures. And ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege in inviting Mr. Dharmendra Singh. Mr. Dharmendra Singh is the Senior Vice President of Marketing at Hughes Communications India to discuss how Hughes Communication is using satellite technology to bring connectivity to remote sites and disaster-hit areas, especially leveraging LEO, that is Low Earth Orbit satellites. And I also have the privilege of inviting Mr. Rajesh Kaul, Founder and Director of LMES iConnect V, who will be speaking about his vision for 5G intelligent villages, his pioneering work in rural connectivity and transforming villages into smart connected communities through 5G technology. And ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to hand over to our session chair, Shri Vivek Duaji, to carry forward the proceedings of the session, beginning with his opening remarks. And I would like to remind you, sir, the time duration for the session now is about 1 hour 15 minutes, which includes the opening and closing remarks by the distinguished chair and presentations by all our eminent speakers for 12 minutes each. May I now hand over to you, sir?
Thank you so much. I'm always very excited to be a part of this Broadband India celebration. It comes at a very apt time when the festival season has set in, and it's kind of a tech festival for me, that I get to meet all the brightest minds in the industry and then challenge myself with the thoughts that people present here. Because unless you are challenged, there is no scope for growth. That is my thinking. And you need great people to really challenge you. So I thank Shashi ji and all the organizers who provide this opportunity to me and my fellow speakers here to interact with a great audience and then see together how we can carve out a great digital India. The session theme is Convergence of Technology, FTTH, 5G, Satellite for a Connected Future. So everything today is like more speed, more bandwidth, right? सबको ज़्यादा speed चाहिए. And speakers will tell you, they'll share their ideas, how this great speed, great technology will shape up the future. But to just warm up and get a sense of how engaged you are with us, I like to have the audience also participate to understand that how you see in this session sitting for the convergence of technologies, FTTH, 5G and satellite, what the speed will do for you. आप भी एज एन इंडिविजुअल कुछ देखते होंगे ना, मतलब OTT के अलावा भी कुछ स्पीड का काम होता होगा घर में, ईमेल चेक करने के अलावा भी कुछ काम होगा, यूट्यूब के अलावा भी कुछ खास होगा जो स्पीड कर सकती है. When all of us evolved from 3G to 4G and now to 5G, looking at 6G, how your personal life has changed. Or it is just a fancy thing that I talk, I have a 5G phone and it's a really expensive iPhone 16, which tells that I am more than others, I am better than others. Okay, I think the ideas have started.
I think one thing that significantly changed was moving from those traditional audio calls and video calls. People feel the difference.
Okay, his experience which has changed about communication is moving from an audio era to a video era. And I would say from a video era, what is the next thing? Virtual reality or an immersive era. That's all is about Web3 or metaverse that speakers in the morning also spoke about. More ideas? What has changed in your life when more speed has come? Digital transformation is a very fancy word. Sorry? Banking has really changed. Yes. That's what today the whole world looks at India. The way the transformation in the financial sector has happened. The way a common man has been enabled, connected to the core banking systems, and the simplification of the financial transactions that have happened. Today every pan bidi wala or a vegetable seller or anybody that you see, anyone you see around, the QR thing is so common in India, the outsiders coming to India really find it strange. It's not just about mobile penetration for an audio conversation, it's all about business that people are engaged into. And that's the beauty of technology that you see in, day out transactions happening around you. So a transformation which has touched every citizen of this country, I would say, is the change that we are seeing around. And myself, because I have been part of this BharatNet program, particularly the utilization, last 2 years extensively I have spent, and that's how I got a chance to travel to so many parts of the country, and not country, going to the villages particularly. I could see the transformation there myself. More ideas before I hand over to the, yes sir?
rather than just saying video calls, it's the collaboration tools.
Collaboration tools.
And specifically talking about, for an example, when we used to do telemedicine earlier, it wasn't, return side was not possible because you couldn't get very high resolution images back to doctors when it comes to X-rays or MRI reports, right? Today, you can have an 8K return and a doctor sitting somewhere can live advise and help health workers.
So collaboration in daily life is going to increase further. TVR sir was speaking about town hall that I heard him over the YouTube in the morning, where you can, the whole world is a single community, a single society, and the internet is the enabler, and collaboration is what he is talking about. So our energy gets multiplied when we collaborate. As an individual, we ourselves find that I'm not capable, but as a team member, I always find that my team can do it. And that's the beauty of collaboration. And ever since we have gone online, I have seen days back, 2019, sitting in corporate, I was planning my tours to the cities or the areas where I have to improve the business. Post-COVID, we were all de facto on VCs. And you all must have experienced the collaboration which has happened post moving to the VC era has enormously increased, though it has some side effects. But I personally feel the PSUs or the government enterprises, the productivity has increased. Because in government departments, people are largely disconnected. Their goal orientation is very weak. Their common thinking is not there towards the goals. But this collaboration which has happened post-COVID through the virtual or the digital platforms has certainly improved the productivity in the society. And leadership definitely matters. With the Honorable Prime Minister there, you see the change happening because of the strong leadership, but technology also has played a great role in driving the thought of the leadership to the bottom level. More ideas? I think I'm eating the time of the speakers, but that's how I feel it's better to engage people more. Yes, sir? E-commerce, you have seen a big change. So what Neeraj sir was speaking about ONDC, I like to connect the two dots. He spoke about e-commerce and he was speaking about ONDC, Prasar Bharati and BharatNet coming together, right? He spoke to in his speech and most of the people I'm sure would not have been able to make meaning out of it, but there's a reason what he said. When we are connecting homes on fiber, entertainment is the by default objective of the user, right? You want to entertain yourself post your time spent in the farm or in the grocery store that is there in the village, and you want relaxing hours spending time on YouTube or Reels or whatever. But then we want to engage people in good productive business also. That's where the ONDC pitches in. And people in the village are really not unable to appreciate or understand how to be part of that online e-commerce world. So my BharatNet Udyami, who is the champion at the village level, we have 7,000 plus serving some 40,000 Gram Panchayat today. They're the ones who have become the enablers. And we want to have these set of people educate the end citizen on the ONDC platform, either by becoming a seller or a consumer. So basic education gap which is existing, to be part of that ecosystem, that's how they will pitch in, he or she will pitch in. That's how we see the whole ecosystem called BharatNet will really start reaping the benefits of the digital connectivity that is reaching there. So I'll stop here, I'll pause here, no, I'll stop here, and we'll keep inviting your thoughts as we move forward. May I first request Mr. Mustafa to please share your thoughts on the future of digital India.
Thank you, Bibek Dua sir, respected guest and everyone. Good afternoon. As I was listening Bibek Dua sir talking about what is changing in the landscape of communications, that's all we are going for is faster speed and resiliency. And I think as I think about the new network or upcoming network, we'll need to get better speed. At the same time, we need to get those speed or internet speed faster. So that's been the motto, I would say, for Taara. I'm the regional lead for Taara, which is part of X or Google X. Earlier it used to be called Google X, but we just call ourselves X now, not the Twitter as my colleague Sanjay mentioned. So X is a moonshot factory for Alphabet. X is where the moonshot technologies we try to bake, and where the hardest problem of the world basically kind of ignored. We try to see whether we can bake through those technology with innovation and new ideas. So this technology that we are baking as part of Taara, earlier it used to call as free space optical communications. People used to call that as FSOC or FSO. We kind of termed this technology a new name. We are calling it wireless optical communications, because it's not only the free space, that segment of the electromagnetic spectrum. It can also be optical in sense in future. So the new term that we coined is WAC, and Taara is the new generation WAC technology that we are trying to deploy across the globe. So before I get started, I want to say that this Taara has a very Indian origin. The name Taara itself, it comes from Sanskrit root, which means to cross. And like in Bengali and many other Indian languages, Taara or Sitara, that means star. So our project is deeply rooted in this region in India. We started in India back in 2017, working in Andhra Pradesh, specifically with AP fiber. And from there we have moved on. We have progressed in different countries as well. So now, as many of you are aware, wireless optical communication technology, which earlier used to be called as free space optics, it is line of sight technology. So that means that here the communication propagates through free space, but this technology is point to point. And in this technology, we can create high-speed data. But the communication frequency that we use is ISAF. You can call it ISAF laser, but invisible. So basically, it's like getting fiber-like capacity without actually deploying physical fiber cable. Yes. Can I go up? Over the past few decades, the communication world has seen upgrading the mobile or wireless technology from 2G to 3G, 3G to 4G, and now 5G, roughly every 10 years. Since 1990s, we have been moving towards higher frequency in RF world in search of faster speed and more bandwidth. A couple of years ago, at the India Mobile Congress, the Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, he actually launched 5G service, but still a good number of operators are launching or are trying to expand that 5G coverage. As many of you in this audience, you know that conventional RF solutions using radio spectrum, it's coming to an end in the sense that bringing new technology, we cannot get more bandwidth and speed using RF. So we need to leapfrog the technology, as my colleague mentioned, that we need to go to higher spectrum. And we literally have gone to terahertz domain. The operating frequency of Taara is somewhere near near infrared, as we call it. In exact terahertz, it's 193 terahertz. And in terms of detailed specification, I'll also touch upon later on. So one question is that why we want to use optical communications. There are various factors of that. Among those, 4 are very, very important. Number one is data consumptions are growing day by day, and it's not showing any sign to stop. in the world, almost 3 billion population, they are not getting good internet. And in India, as you have seen that the mobile broadband versus the fixed wireless, the gap is significant. So India also has a huge population who are not getting true internet or power of internet. Similarly, urbanization is also creating a lot of pressure in terms of middle mile. And as I said earlier, the radio spectrum is also not able to sustain that high demand of data. So in X, basically we have solved this problem. We have not created completely new technology. The technology existed. It has been used in satellite industry, this free space communications in between ground station to international space station communications. In between satellites, they also use these free space optics communications. In fact, earlier, one of the Google X project, Loon has used this in between flying balloon. And what basically Taara has done, bring that technology through the ground, and in that way we are able to go longer distance and literally create mobile backhaul network or backhaul network in a couple of hours time. So in X, having this precision pointing performance, and we'll talk about that in later slide, is like core innovation that we have done in our product. So wireless optical communication can be used rapidly bridge gaps in between middle mile and last mile, as I have said, to expand fiber infrastructures and extend high capacity networks from a fiber point of presence. And in this technology, as I mentioned, that it's a point-to-point technology, but as long as there is line of sight, we can create a link, and that link distance can be up to 20 kilometers from point-to-point basis. And once the links is created, we can create, with the current generation of product, up to 20 Gbps bidirectional communication that can happen. And this is a typical installation that I'm showing a Taara link here. And in terms of benefit of this Taara technology or WAC or FSO technology is that it is interference-free. There is no interference in the higher frequency, in the sense that if there is any, that can be locally neutralized or minimized. And also my colleague mentioned that it is intercept-free. If someone try to intercept this high frequency, it actually blocks that communication. So this is also is very, very secure. And it's also low latency network. Here the signal propagates by light speed, and basically in that way we are able to show that in terms of actual optical fiber communications for the same distance, Taara link will have lower latency. And as I mentioned that the current generation of product, it's a 20 Gbps full duplex. So effectively from left side to right side, we can communicate 20 Gbps from left side to right side and right side to left side, vice versa. The power consumptions of our equipment of our current generation is very low. It's typically 40 watt, just like a light bulb. On the maximum power utilizations per terminal is 60 watt. And as I mentioned that this frequency is in terahertz, 193 terahertz. It doesn't fall exactly on visible spectrum, but since it's fall in near infrared, we have taken laser certification, which is called class 1M ISAVE. So what does it mean? That as long as someone is not directly exposing to eye within the near field, it should not have impact any on the living organism organ. Because eye being very, very sensitive, that certifications we have taken. And I'll talk about this pointing, which I said that the core challenge or technical innovation that we have done. Imagine as we are pointing laser on any wall, no matter how firmly we put our hand, we'll always see that there is a movement on that laser pointer. So that's challenge because in the high frequency, the external disturbance, and those disturbance can be from the heat expansions, like whenever we put our equipment on the tower and sunlight falls on the towers, there is expansion of heat, and that basically create pointing inaccuracy. The similar inaccuracy can also be for the reason of running generator on the site, because it creates vibrations. Or let's say some worker is working on that tower, that will also create vibrations. So the main challenge being that how we can basically keep these two laser beam very, very pointed when both of the terminal as well as infrastructure they can move. And there are core innovation that we have done in our products. We have balancing mechanism to compensate the vibration, external vibrations, the vibrations that we can sense from the way the ray is coming to my terminal, as well as there are some gyro equipment we have within the terminal that helps us to measure how we are experiencing the different vibrations within that environment. And this gives us more stability compared to other available free space optics or wireless optics product. It gives us more stability and uptime. And there are several known issues that people are aware in this guest. I would say that as we go in high frequency, the attenuation for the rain and fog particulate that play a role. We have ways to improve certain scenarios in terms of rain, but in case of dense fog, our equipment may not work as expected. The thumb rule is that we need to see, the one terminal need to see the other terminal. As long as they can see this other terminal, the link will remain stable. And there are a lot of improvements that we have done. And one of the improvement I would say that recently we have introduced is giving a clarity that what are the reasons in India or other part of the world this technology will work. And we have done a thorough study in terms of the visibility across India, taking the inputs from airport, because airport has visibility data. India Meteorological Department, they also have visibility sensors. So all those things we have collected, and we have created this very intuitive way to see that what kind of uptime is expected for a Taara walk link for various area in India.
You have
Yes.
one more minute.
Yeah. And I'll quickly touch upon the use case here. The Taara can be used in terms of fiber deployment, while fiber deployment is challenging, like geographical territory, water crossing. So several examples, this particular one in Africa. This also we have done in Caribbean. This is in Digicel Pacific, also water body crossing. And this is also similar submarine cable restoration case. In India particular, as I mentioned, for last 6 years, we have been working with various partners, telecom service providers, internet service providers. We have been working very closely with Airtel in terms of their 5G mobile backhaul expansions, and we'll share more about that in coming months, hopefully. And one thing, as my colleague mentioned, that in terms of broadband penetrations, what we have seen even in metro areas, the fiber penetration is not significant. There are some studies we have seen earlier that almost 30% of tower, even in major metros, are not fully fiberized for one of the leading telcos. And the way we are solving this fiber penetration is basically from a tower where you have already high capacity fiber or a bandwidth, we can drop that capacity to a community like this. And in that case, in the whole community can get hundreds of Mbps, if not even Gbps internet connections. So the motto I'll summarize is that as part of Taara, we want to augment the fiber network. Our firm belief is that whatever solution that we build for connectivity for human scale, it should be grounded. And that's why we tried that FOC technology in between satellite, in between balloon, but finally we came to the ground, try to see if our technology can help the existing fiberization effort. Wherever fiberization is not possible, that's why Taara will come handy and ensure that we can rapidly expand the network to ensure the future demand of the network. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mustafa ji. So he gave you a brief historical background how the technology evolved. The satellite backhauling was through the free space optic technology. It has been there for almost a decade or plus. And then it has been brought on ground to help the growth of network alongside the fiber that we lay on ground. So thank you so much, and I would request that if somebody from audience, they already have deployed an FSOC and what has been the challenge and how they have overcome, if you can share, it will be great, else I'll move to the next speaker. Anybody has deployed? Okay, please have your question raised. Who were? E-bendings.
I would say the main difference is that compared to E-band, we can take longer distance. In E-band, as we know that for higher throughput, the distance cannot be more than 1 kilometer. There are various studies shows that even after 700 meters, the throughput drastically reduced. But in our case on WAC technology, the distance can be, as I said, that up to 20 kilometers as per our data sheet. But for Indian weather conditions, even up to 10 kilometer, we can provide 20 Gbps. So that I would highlight as the main differentiation with E-band. Thank you.
Ultimate?
We are doing multi-band bonding for traditional and E-band.
Yes.
Okay, whenever there is a bad weather, it can work on the traditional band, what we are doing in the different operators in India and globally. So, have you tried for that multi-band bonding with traditional in the this FSO?
Yes, it is in our pipeline. We have tried that with various customers, depending on the requirement.
Great, thank you.
We can talk more later on. Thank you.
So thank you so much, and I'll move on now to the next speaker, Mr. Okay.
Yeah, I had a chance of being a last mile connectivity company. We had a chance of using this FSO network. Obviously, the positives are many in terms of capacity. As you grow, the capacity grows up to 20, and we have been using it for rural backhaul purpose as such. There are a few challenges which I think with time will get covered up, obviously with regard to weather changes and all. Moment you have fog and all, it does have an impact in terms of speed. It does bring down the bandwidth. Apart from that, what I personally see is that this product will become more effective rather than just being a backhaul. Once you start seeing it as a point to multi-point rather than point to point, that is where the product has to emerge out. I think a lot of work has been done over the years. I think I heard about free space optics in early 90s, and it has evolved from 90s. I think we have experts sitting from TEC at the back, Mr. Srivastava, who has worked very much on the optical side of it. So it has evolved, but I think with time, once you have point to multi-point thing coming in up, it will make a big change in the market, and I think people should be using it more frequently on that aspect of it. Thanks.
Thank you, Rajesh ji. And now I invite Mr. Saket. Saket ji ke bare mein, I am seeing that his passion includes playing lawn tennis and traveling. So I'll request him that how this theme, FTTH 5G satellite for a connected future, you can correlate with your passion, which is lawn tennis and traveling, while you speak on the subject that you have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vivek ji. On that travel that he picked up, I can give you a recent example. I have come back from a week's travel to Singapore. Unluckily, or you can say it's by my design, that I don't carry cash. I landed in Singapore without cash, and I have come back successfully without needing any cash. And this is what I think is the greatest advantage that all these telecom networks have brought in our lives. So I actually rang up my wife and said, I don't know how I will survive, but I have survived, I have come back, and I feel that, this is a typical example of something that we really are working in India, really working in India. Topic for today is connecting networks, urban to rural. When we design a network, the planner, the designer actually starts with a model. Earlier, we used to talk about models like centralized, distributed, cascaded, star. But these models have evolved now. These models have evolved with new age technologies, with all the requirements of high speed, reliability, and affordability. There are a lot of new age models which are now available to network planners. And I would like to, just briefly talk about them in our presentation. Centralized split, everybody knows about this. You put the splitter in a central location. The advantage is you have very limited locations where you need to send the splicer, but disadvantage, too much of fiber. Distributed split is a subset wherein these splitters are probably not housed in a single location, but you house it in multiple locations, but still you are doing a large split count. One is 1x64 for every OLT port. So there is a reduction in amount of fiber cable, but still there is a disadvantage in terms of in terms of fiber runs. Coming to the most popular and widely used architecture or model in our country is cascaded star. Here we essentially, the difference is that we are splitting instead of once. We are now having two sets of splitters, what we call as primary and secondary split. And the secondary split now goes very close to your building or very close to our homes. In some cases, in dense networks like Delhi and Mumbai, we are essentially installing a splitter in every building. That's how these networks have evolved. In terms of advantages, the fiber counts have gone down. But now we have a very big disadvantage to work with. Now the splicing has gone up significantly. Number of places that we are splicing has gone up significantly. That requires a large maintenance team and a complex O&M effort. To evolve, the industry came up with this kind of a model, which we call it as cascaded daisy chain. Essentially in this, we are using the mid-span technology. We run a single multi-fiber count cable like 12 or 24, and we try to drop a single fiber, two fiber or a tube in every terminal, thereby reducing the number of splices, but still we have to splice in multiple locations. It has its advantages, has its disadvantages. For essence of time, I will come down to two new age models which have been developed, and I think it's high time that a country like India starts using them in their network designs. First of them, we call it cascaded indexing, or the common term for us is FLX ODN. In this, what we are trying to do is, we are trying to combine the benefits of centralized split and cascaded split, so that the advantages of both the solutions are kept together. The advantage where we are having limited splicing locations, and the advantage that we have lower fiber count cables, both are seen in this solution. If I take an example of how a FLX ODN solution works, is that you have a FLX primary splitter box that connects to multiple FLX secondary splitter boxes in a network. And if I take a simple fiber serving area, which is one OLT location, which is around 2000 homes, we see that the number of splices that actually goes is 608 splices for a network of 2000 homes. You scale it up to the size of India, that's the amount of splicing that we need to do if we have to connect each and every home by fiber using the cascaded daisy chain network models. Also, for a network of 2000 homes, a splicer actually needs to physically visit 144 locations. That's the efforts. But now, with the FLX ODN solution, this comes down by 95%. So we only need 32 splices in connecting 2000 homes. And the splicer needs to visit only 16 locations, down by 89%. This significantly saves a lot of time for installation, significantly saves a lot of time during maintenance. So large benefits of this solution is speed of deployment, which is very, very fast. We are using connectorized plug and play solution. So there is no there is no field terminations, low labor skills required, number of splicers in every team could be lesser, or then each team can probably cover larger area since now they don't need to splice. So depending on that. Quality and performance. We've already heard about speakers talking about quality of service. This is very important. Since we do splicing on the field, since we do termination on the field, the reliability of these connections is always a question. If we have factory terminated connectors, we have factory terminated links, the performance of these connections is much better. So what is this FLX ODN? FLX ODN works with only 2 network elements. We keep the solution very simple. We keep the products optimized. They are flexible, efficient in design for the network designer, and definitely it uses a lot less fiber in the network. This FLX ODN solution, combined with the forward path, the reverse path, branching and the loopback option, we feel can cover any application which the fiber can run that we can think of as of today. We have developed architectures for certain customers where their 5G, small cell, Wi-Fi, CCTV and various other applications can be run by a single fiber network using the advantages that this solution brings to them. The FLX ODN solution has been deployed in India on a proof of concept basis in an area. We have seen that the construction time for the service provider reduces by 43% as compared to the cascaded daisy chain architecture. To put this in a number perspective, if a service provider is thinking of building a network for 25 million homes, he would generally take 3 years. But using the FLX ODN solution, that can be done in 1.7 years. That's a significant reduction in time. In terms of cost and benefit cost and benefit analysis for the solution, we see that yes, there is an increase in material cost for the solution, but there is a 43% reduction in service cost. So all in all, the total cost of deployment for the service provider goes down by 3% in the case study that we have done. Plus a lot of intangible benefits which the solution brings to the table, like being future ready. In the first session we spoke about technologies, our demand for bandwidth going up, future technologies coming in, the passive plant remains the same. The reverse port giving us a lot of options, fast commissioning, design efficiencies, accelerated ROI, very, very important, 3 years coming down to 1.7 years, and the time to market. So the service providers who are competing for getting first to the homes, now they can enter the homes with a shorter period of time. Next, we move on to another new age model which has come up, is the cascaded tap architecture. Till now, the models that we've been using, it works on the principle of equal power split between the splitter outputs. This solution is actually different. This solution works on a single fiber cable, one fiber cable running in the passive plant, and we using the principle of unequal power splits. The application as of today is in dense networks. Imagine there is a high rise coming up. We have a OLT very close by. In the earlier solutions, the amount of power which is delivered ideally to the first 8 homes and to the last 8 homes in the high rise should be the same. But that's not actually what happens on the field. Because of various losses and the way the network is designed, the power delivery is not equal. And we are limited by the distances that the solution can travel. So to overcome this, we've come up with this solution which is called optical tap. If you see, we can actually start building the network by a 90-10 splitter. That 90% of the signal would probably pass through at level 1, and only 10% is dropped to the first 8 homes, because the first 8 homes don't need that amount of power. And since a lot of power is passed through, then we can actually cover larger areas. A very tall building can be connected using a single fiber run. Terminal boxes for this kind of solution is extremely small. We've developed these terminal boxes which are like 6 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 7 centimeters. They are on display in our stall. Extremely small, single fiber run, can go into small ducts. I think we are looking at innovative ways of connecting our homes.
Saketji, you have 1 more minute.
Done, sir. Thank you. That's our last slide. I would just say that we at Commscope, we are trying to develop newer models that would ensure that the networks that we are talking about would get connected in such a way that they deliver higher bandwidth at lesser cost and lesser amount of time that it takes to install them. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saketji. It was a very enlightening session, and he touched upon some of very fundamental problems in the GPON network, the fiber network that is laid out in the last mile. And most of the people certainly face problems in delivering the right power levels which are required for ensuring good quality of service to the customer. In fact, we as BSNL also struggle a lot on the last mile, and we have 40,000 plus partners who do all of this activity in the last mile. And I'll request Saketji that we have recently established some 10 labs exclusively for our partners across the country to have hands-on on the right construction practices, the right set of tools, gadgets that they should use. So we can always collaborate and see that the right education is imparted, right methods are told to the last mile team members. We are also engaging with the metaverse organizations who can do a lot of training in metaverse, because having everybody travel to the lab location is not possible. And these days it's pretty easy to impart good quality education, an immersive one over metaverse, in which Chennai and Bangalore have taken the lead. So we are also engaging with them to see that our partner ecosystem is certainly enriched with the right knowledge to do right customer service. So if audience has questions around this, please raise your hand.
Mr. Saket, during the maintenance, because the reliability of the fiber network is very, very important, you said it. Do you use the artificial intelligence tools for detecting and rectifying the faults?
Sir, I would say that every company, including Commscope, is trying to use it. When I joined this industry, probably if there was any fault, then the installer had to manually check whether the port is connected right or not. But now with the use of AI, we are developing solutions where the installer can actually use AI and see whether has he connected right, has he connected to the right port, has he connected in the right way, and where is the fault in the network. Can he go to that area and service that network in a quicker way?
Are you using that?
We are in the process of developing. We have some solutions at this moment, but they are not commercially available in India. But I'm sure by next year we will have these solutions in India.
Only a small question more, but do you have a concept of the fiber to everywhere, not up to the home only, everywhere, fiber to the desk and fiber to the all equipment lying in the home itself?
Yes. As a company, we believe that fiber should go into each and every area in the country, be it an enterprise, be it a home, or be it any business point of sales. We want fiber to go into that area, and we have the right solution that goes over there.
My question is fiber to everywhere means fiber going inside the home and then to every place.
Inside the home.
Yes, sir. So our solutions, as of now in the solutions, we only talked about home passes. But when we start talking about home connects, there are solutions available where fiber gets deep into the home. Not only at the entry of the house, but each and every corner or each and every bedroom of the home. So we have solutions wherein the fiber can actually reach deep into the home. Similarly, in an office environment, we want fiber not only to come to the server room, we want the fiber to probably reach the desk. That's the future that we think we are working on.
Anybody else who loves fiber so much? Fiber to the room, fiber to the washroom, and fiber to every room, every corner of the house. I have seen that connectivity has more relevance in the washrooms than the actual rooms, and my son spends more time in the washroom and on viewing the tennis that he loves. So he'll say, I'll go for 10 minutes and he'll come back in 1 hour, and I can always hear the tennis live sessions or the recordings being played while he's inside. So he always wants a good signal inside the washroom. Anyway, that's part of the connected world story. So you have good and bad, everything happening. May I now request Mr. Sumit, who is our next speaker for the day, to please share his thoughts on the digital India and the benefit of all these technologies. And I must say that, most of the times I'm about to leave now, so I like to share my thoughts before I leave on one important thing that I saw that Shashiji has shared, but he has now not put on the agenda over here, is the business case around the whole ecosystem. Why most of the time people fail is not about technology. Everybody over here has spoken about technology, and there are great things about technology, no doubts about that. But why we still fail? Why we still fail? I have spent now 5 years plus in my corporate office. Before that, I also thought technology is the greatest thing because I was in the field working with the technology, playing with the technology, but I wasn't really aware about the business around technology. Coming here, I've realized that because I interact with good number of partners in the country, and I hear from them the reasons for failures also. And then I understand what is the importance of understanding the business case of a technology being used in the field. On FSOC, I asked so many people in the field, it's a great technology, why you're not adopting? Then they come back telling me, sir, we have to put through 1 gig. Over a radio, it is costing me 1 lakh. Over FSOC, it is costing me 10 lakhs. You tell me, what should I do? That's how the people respond on a business case. Then I spoke to the FSOC guys. Can you bring it down? Because I find it will be more reliable, more relevant, but the cost is the prohibitive thing. So many things around business is what really matters, and if people are educated, they can do wonders. So my request before I leave this place, we should have exhaustive discussions around technology coupled with the business case. And I think Broadband India Forum, which is a very established forum now with very deep roots about the understanding of technology and how it is relevant to society, and Bharat exhibition, Shashiji is there. We should have more and more talks around the business cases and technology put together. That's how our small and medium enterprises, our people at the grassroots level can get benefited and start contributing more and more to the growth of this digital India. So I thank you. I'll be now leaving, and Sumitji, you please have your session done. Shashiji, somebody has to take over.
So before you leave, we would like to present you a small token of gratitude, inviting Mr. Shaildhar to kindly do the honors of presenting a memento to our session chair, Shri Vivek Duaji. We are always grateful to you for sparing your valuable time and sharing your valuable insights here with us. Thank you once again, sir. And may I request for a group photograph before sir leaves? Can we have a group photograph, sir, before you leave? Mr. Shaildhar, to kindly join the group photograph, please. Thank you. And I hand over to our presenter, Mr. Sumit Agarwal, to carry forward his presentation. And you have about 12 minutes, sir. We have a timer right in the front. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek ji, Shashi ji, and the Bharat exhibition to allow me to express my views. Namaskar, good afternoon, everyone. So I am Sumit. I am representing my company Norden Communication, who are one of the manufacturer of the passive cabling and the surveillance. Sorry.
I request Sri Kuldeep Goyalji to please take over the proceedings. He is our former CMD BSNL. Sir, please come over there, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So since morning we are talking about the 5G speed, broadband speed, 1 gigabit speed. When we talk about any network or any architecture, the basic learning is OSI layer, where we have the 7 layers. The first layer is a physical layer. That means all the system should require a proper neve or base, that is a physical layer, where we comes into the picture. So to get the high speed, whether it is 5G, wireless or fiber, broadband, anything, you should require a proper and very quality products on which these speeds can run. Because every components, whether it's copper or fiber, have their limitations, their quality. Based on that, you can run a particular speed on those things. So first, I'll go through my company in a quick 2 minutes. So Norden is a UK-based company, and it's basically started in the ELV solution. So we have multiple product lines across the globe. We started in 1998, and we now having a very a lot of product lines, especially for this today's session. We are having a complete cabling system, whether it's copper, fiber, accessories, and all the quality standards we are having with us, the certification and everything. We have 20 plus countries, global presence across the globe. These are some product range we are carrying with us across the globe, and reason wise can be limited also. So now I'll talk about the telecom industry. I know long back during my BTech time, we used to fight for the cellular phone. At times it's not so easy, and my parents allowed me to take the phone in 3rd year of, or you can say 6th semester of my BTech, because now need to apply for the interviews and other things. Okay. That times we used to use BSNL, or in Delhi NCR, MTNL connections was there. Slowly, broadband connections were not the part of almost all the homes. Basically, in broadband also we are getting some 256 kbps speed on the dial-up. Then it started with 16 Mbps, 20 Mbps, 50 Mbps. Now, almost every homes having a broadband connections, every phone having a limited minimum 4G connectivity. Now we are going to the 5G connectivity. So telecom market or density in India, especially in last few years, increased tremendously. You can see the graph in Feb and March. The overall, it's almost like 86% coverage is there, including urban and rural. And I'm just like in 2-3 weeks back, I was doing some demonstration of POC, you can say, on the highways. That time, still I am using the 4G phone. I am not not bothering about the 5G. But my colleague having the 5G connectivity, and we need to upload a very high image or high video, a 4K quality video on the WhatsApp. My colleague used the 5G connectivity, and within a seconds that file, half of like 20 MB files, it's like within seconds went to my group. So that time I felt that what is the difference between the 4G and the 5G connectivity. So that is a plus point, especially now in India. Everyone is talking about whether it's UPI payments, banking, healthcare, any industry. You can have everything. Even nowadays, most of the office meetings or office communication are going on the WhatsApp, whether it's heavy files, heavy PPTs, images, any solution, any CRM, everything on the phone. That is the telecom industry rise up in India. So now I'll come to again to my product line, the copper cables. Long back we started with the Cat5e cables. Okay, we were talking about the 10 Mbps, 1 Mbps speed. Now we are talking about the 40G speed, 100G speed in the data center. And still on the desktop side or user side, we are working on the 1G speed. Now slowly the things are moving towards the 10G speed also. So what copper, like from Cat5e to Cat8, so it is based on the complete based on the speed. Now on Cat8 we can go up to 40G also. Then there are the components also play an important role. Okay, it's not about the cables. All the components should be of the same standards on the particular standards TIA, EIA defined, and based on that only you can have you can get the particular speed. Then again, we comes to the optical fiber. There are multiple fiber types, whether it's armored, E-glass strength, dielectric loose tube, aerial. So multiple type of fibers cables. Now most of the OEMs are manufacturing. And yes, for the long distance, copper cannot work, we required fiber. Even now on the data center, high-speed data centers, they are normally trying to have the backbone inside the data center also on the fiber itself. So now OM4, OM5 in multi-modes normally used to be in data center for get the high speed like 40G or 100G on the backbone. Then again, the accessories of the fiber also plays an important role. That is why all point to point, end point to point, like from point A to point Z, all the components on the physical layer should have a particular quality, should have as per the standards for that particular speed. Then again, FTTH solutions, like lot of players are there, okay. And now, like we were talking about now everyone, most of the metro cities homes are on the FTTH, and slowly all the industry are moving towards the fiber to the room also, which just Vivek sir was talking about. So FTTH also, there are like the Commscope have just shown us some wonderful products where they can reduce the splicing and the junctions and locations also. So those are the like R&D's developments the well-known OEMs are doing in the market to have the better speed, better infra, reliable infra, and with very less efforts. Then Norden is having a lot of high density solution where we can terminate 144 core fiber also, multiple connections. So those are the things are the important role where we talk about the telecom broadbands, where the multiple core cables are running, like 144 core, 96 core type of cables are running. So for those termination, we require a high density solutions. Then we have an intelligence solution. So when we talk about the layers, the physical layer never ever, nobody is thinking about to have the intelligency. So what happened in the big data centers also, what happened if something happened on the particular port, especially on the patch panel side, or someone looped the cable, okay, your complete network completely broadcasted and the choked. the only way to identify is the manual way. Okay, sometimes it took some 3 hours, 4 hours, and days also. And every data center is having a SLAs. So what happened now? There is a solution called Intelligence Solution AIM, where some OEMs, like Commscope also, they developed a solution where you can have the intelligence on the physical layer also, even on the patch panel port also. That is completely based on SNMP. Like you are having the network management software for the switching, for the router, for layer 2 and layer 3 device. Same way you can have on the physical layer, that is on the patch panel side, user side, on the data centers. This will actually help you to get the issues fast. If anyone is like removing the patch cord, you will get the signal, you will get the alert. If anyone is looping the network, you will get the alert. Even you can bind the particular port with particular connection also. So those type of intelligence we can put. Norden can enable on each and every data center, so that the SLA will be maintained, the downtime will be very less, and you can easily find out the issues on the physical layer itself. These are some of the like components of the intelligence solutions. So what normally Norden intelligence solution is doing. So we normally are completely on the SNMP based. So we normally have the connectors and everything on the ports, intelligent patch panels, patch cords, fiber. So where we are getting the information, even we can have the GIS location also, we can map on our software. GUI is very user friendly also. We can have the 3-dimensional view of the racks and the cabinets. We can design the complete rack in the GUI. We can have the alert system, everything. We can, on the IT personnel who is operating or who is controlling or who is managing the complete data center, through the GUI he can manage lot of things. He can block the particular port also. He can enable. He can bind with the MAC. So multiple things we can do with the particular solution. So there are a lot of things we can do. Even we can map the switches also. We can use a system server, multiple things we can manage on the MAC based also, IP based also, and SNMP based also. Then we have a coaxial cables, industrial cables, buildings cables, then telephone cables, fire and safety cables where we have PH122, fire resistant cables, MIA cables, multiple type of fire resistance cables we have. Then we have a complete cabinet and accessories which is required in the data centers, or all the telecom service provider have a big data centers to cater all the things. So where we can provide the racks also, multiple type of racks, data center racks like dual rack, next rack, angle patch panel. So multiple type solutions we are having, we are manufacturing, and we are delivering across the globe. Thank you all. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Sumit-ji. You just in time wound up and covered all your solutions. So the complete convergence of things, of various solutions available for your data center connectivity, FTTH and all. I'll request Ms. Jairam now from Hughes Communication to present his talk.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jairam. I represent Hughes Communications India. Hughes in India has been serving the Indian enterprises, government, defense for the past 30 years with satellite communication as its core. And here I'll be sticking to, the next gen satellite communication option that is available. Now, a small preamble, just to put a context. Why satellite is important? Because satellite has always been complementary to terrestrial or fiber. So satellite is every telco's friend to extend its reach, whether it's for 4G, for broadband, globally, and India is no exception also. And we have been involved in many projects with all the major telecom service providers to extend 4G to the remotest part of the countries as part of the USF or the Bharat Niti program. Now, why is satellite so, important and different? Satellite can provide connectivity without having to lay fiber, and you can drop in whatever capacity you need in terms of Mbps, Gbps going forward without any constraints, with a small dish or a small device at that site. And it, as a medium, it has always been, and it will always in the future also provide the best possible availability and reliability. It gives more than 99.5% uptime. Now, so far, till date in India, we have been constrained by the lack of right satellite capacity, right in terms of quality, quantity, and cost economics. Now that is changing, and that is changing rapidly. Now we are going to have I would say, a plethora of service, different type of satellite services, and the use cases are just exploding. So without much ado, I would like to go into those. Okay, thanks. So, what is next-gen SATCOM? Now, today we are talking about two different type of satellite options. One is geosynchronous, which is at maybe 35,000 kilometers above the Earth, the geosynchronous orbit, and we are talking about LEO. Now, while everyone knows about LEO, and I'll come to it very soon, GEO is not lagging behind. We are going to have high throughput satellites, and very high throughput satellites soon over India. In fact, the first one is going to be from ISRO, GSAT-20, which is going to be available from sometime next year, and it itself has 50 Gbps capacity. And I would say this is one of the smallest satellite which is going to come have service over India. That shows the kind of capacity that we are going to have now. Now, there are other satellites also, satellite service providers also, Indian and mainly foreign satellite operators who are developing capacity over low-cost capacity over India. Now, all this has come out mainly due to two reasons. One is the advent of LEO, which propelled this entire exercise, and more importantly, the initiatives taken by DoT. Indian government. The new telecom policy is virtually an open skies policy, although we are waiting for more details on that. It encourages NGSO, that is the LEOs and the MEOs, and of course encourages Indian satellite providers to provide the right capacity at their discretion, and of course to provide service outside India also. So coming to LEO, I mean, everyone is familiar with OneWeb, Starlink, Kuiper, Lightspeed. What it brings is tremendous capacity. Now, I talked about 50 Gbps, and maybe other geo satellites might add another 100 Gbps. But when it comes to LEO, we are talking of multiples of terabits. Now, that is a game changer. What that means is you can even drop 1 Gbps to a site, I mean to a home, or to a 4G backhaul site or a community Wi-Fi hotspot, anything. So it's not with a small dish. So that is a game changer. And of course, the per bit cost really comes down, and you can have very high speed service at much more affordable rates. But it will never be cheaper than terrestrial. That is a given. Satellite can never be in the cost of terrestrial. But as compared to what is available today, it is a, step function in terms of cost and performance. Now, it doesn't stop there. Now, people are talking about, along with 5G, everybody has been talking about how 5G fuel IoT. Now, satellite has a role to play. Again, as a complementary, as an extension of IoT ecosystem into rural areas. Now, we have specialized IoT products and solutions available across different bands, L, S, KU, and recently KU. Now, what is different from a home broadband or normal satellite and a IoT device? The form factor. You can see that this is very, very small. It lends itself amenable to be installed on a electric pole, to or on a, I would say, on a car, normal car. I mean, so which a normal VSAT or a satellite terminal is not able to. Now, here this is mainly meant for connecting to sensors and getting data real time, and then taking actions based on that, repetitive data. So, but here also, we can talk about providing, throughput from 1 kbps to 5 or 10 Mbps in the IoT space also. That's also quite exciting. This is a new area for satellite, and it is relevant in both urban and rural areas. Now, when it comes to LEO, I mentioned about the LEO, MEO, GEO. LEOs are typically, the two LEOs that we are talking about are today, which is available is OneWeb and Starlink, and Kuiper is going to be next, and Lightspeed from Telesat will be the last. They are all in the range of 500 kilometers to 1,000 kilometers above the Earth. As compared to MEO, which is much higher, maybe 10,000 kilometers and above, and GEO, it is at 35,000, 36,000 kilometers. Now, what does it mean for a common man or a user? It means, never before seen user experience. In terms of high speed, I talked about the capability up to Gbps. You're talking about very low latency. 50 to 100 millisecond latency through LEOs, which is as good as a fiber. You don't know. We have, in fact, we are one of the lucky ones to experience in our office the experience of LEO, and you can't figure out whether you're talking on a 5G or a satellite. So that's what LEO brings to the table. Sorry, okay. Now, it doesn't stop at user experience. A lot of convenience also gets added.
Too much sound coming from the back on the stalls. Can we have this discussion during the break, please? Too much voice coming in. Do respect the speakers, please. Thank you.
Sure, thanks. So, if you look at the current terminals, they are quite bulky. It serves its purpose, but they are quite heavy, and it's not so easy to install those. I need space, you need platform, whether it's a land mobility, or on a sea or on air, but on the right hand side, look at the terminals from the LEO terminals. They weigh anywhere between 10 kg to 25 kg. They're transportable. So, the utilities and the use cases increased manifold with those. So, and these small terminals are maybe 50 to 100 times more powerful than the legacy terminals. That is because of the power of the LEO satellites and the LEO constellation. So this also enables us to provide high throughput, like multi-100 Mbps or Gbps service using these small terminals on LEO. Okay, now all of us are aware of the satellite phones. At one point, it is like I used to yearn for that. Okay, I can be connected anywhere, but you have this Motorola series as one of them, but it's a painful exercise to get the security clearance, expensive, the service is not available, but that has changed. Now, you're going to have satellite based services on your normal Android or iOS phone. All the latest Samsung Android based phones and Apple are coming with satellite service. Now, again, it is a complementary service. It is not going to replace your normal cellular service. This is going to be available where there are dark spots. No cellular services covering the country 100%. So where it is not available, using the same phone, you can avail of this. So that is another place. So again, the practicality is very important here. You don't need multiple devices. You can use the same device that you're using day to day for satellite also. So I'll quickly move on to, I don't have much time, quickly move on to some use cases pretty fast. One is when a STS, and it can be a LEO or a GEO STS, doesn't matter. What does it mean? It means specifically to digital India and connecting the unconnected. It can serve in many ways, deliver broadband to rural areas, rural India. Whether it's extending the 4G connectivity, we are doing the projects, but this availability of or access to this kind of capacity will increase effectiveness manifold. Then you're talking about village connectivity. village broadband, community Wi-Fi, school broadband, and school connectivity. There are many more things where satellite using its multicast and broadcast feature can contribute to enhancing the quality of education, not just apart from just providing broadband. Then, this is more nuanced, I won't spend too much time. Like for example, today, there are many hamlets and small new villages which are coming up in the rural, I mean, we have seen it northeast and in other parts of the country. Now, no telco would find it viable to put in fiber and bring capacity. It will be put too expensive. Satellite's a great fit. And on a mast, you can put in a satellite terminal, and through Wi-Fi you can provide the, you can extend the service as a Wi-Fi as a last mile, and of course, the villagers can use it to using their handles, mobiles or tablets. And when it comes to large community, the same concept, it can be a high-up tower or mast, but the last mile could be captive 5G or 4G, where we can collaborate with, the VSAT service product can collaborate with a telco or MNO. And here, when a telco brings in fiber, the satellite can go as a backup. So it's a quick startup model also which satellite can provide. Now coming to in-flight connectivity, this is quite, after COVID, the offtake, the adoption of in-flight or connectivity or internet on aeroplanes have increased manyfold in all over the world. Now that is mainly because of the advent of LEO. Now what does LEO mean is that smaller antennas, lower cost, it can be fitted in 1 or 2 days. That means airlines don't have to ground the aircraft for more than 2 days, which otherwise using the traditional system you needed to 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and of course lower cost. Now this I won't touch upon, we discussed that, direct satellite device, it will lead to collaboration between MNOs and SATCOM service provider, which was never done more formally, and it will be in more integrated manner. And satellite IoT, finally, we are talking about definitely the emergency services. Then we are talking about enabling the fishing boats, providing them with, in fact, we have a solution today with the fishing boats can be in touch with our voice and video and text with their near and dear when they're in the deep seas. So that is possible today. And with the advent of LEO, it can be, the scale can be much more. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. So you covered what GEO, LEO can provide, and especially for rural and remote area connectivity, and also in flight. So it was good where the landline connectivity, either mobile or fiber lacks, the satellite covers up. And as he says, LEO has now got good bandwidth also and can provide fast and better connectivity. So we hope the gaps which are there can be covered through use of satellite. Now next speaker is Mr. Rajesh Kaul, founder and director of LMES iConnect V. I'll request him to speak.
Yeah, good afternoon. I think I'm the last speaker before we break for lunch, and I don't think I'll take much of a time, but pertinent points, because I think I am other than Vivek sir, I am the only person from the service side perspective as such. I think on this dais, most of the people are from the product side. Obviously, product has done a huge jump across over years, with regard to, technology moving in different space, whether it is in the wireless space or in the broadband space, or even the SATCOM space, SATCOM from VSAT to now a very different place like Starlinks and all that coming into play as such. But I think if you would have heard TV and Vivek sir talking about one pertinent point, if this is the leapfrog in terms of technology, then why are we still lagging? What is that we are still missing with regard to overall thing? It's not an issue of bandwidth. It's not an issue of speed. I think the pertinent point which we need to touch is the reach. We have still a lot of unconnected domains in the country, and we have to really understand what is the reason behind it. What is that which is stopping all of us not touch those points as such? We still have 250 million 2G users. If we all know that, we still have 250 million users on the 2G network. Apart from that, I would just show you one, which is yeah, that's fine. I joined telecom in 1992, and that is a time when I heard the first buzzword, villages. 600,000 villages still not connected. And today we are talking about 2024. We have just 35% villages covered right now in the country out of the 600,000. I think this number has gone up. I think Kuldeep sir would remember these buzzwords in his telecom days. Today this number has gone up to 675, but we still are at 35%. So there is something really wrong. I think we need to understand, everybody in this room, if it sees, he's carrying 2 SIMs. We talk about 1 billion touch points. Is it really 1 billion touch points? If we have 2 SIMs sitting in our mobile phones itself, that's the single user having 2 of them and all that. And the similar problem when you talk about rural side. So I transitioned myself from a equipment side in 2011 to a service side. And I can see that, once I went to the rural side of the country, which is, our networks are in Rajasthan, J&K, Punjab area as such, and all rural sites in interiors of the state. We can see real change in terms of what is going wrong in time. People don't have, they have 2G connectivity, they can have voice, but the data is not there. For data, many a times they have to go and go to the towns to see if they can download some music. See, 80% of the traffic in the rural market is entertainment. The YouTube is the major market in these rural markets as such. And corrective measures on that aspect have to be seen. And obviously what Vivek sir was touching upon is cost. Many of the speakers on this dais also stated about that, it's not easy to deploy fiber everywhere. It's not easy to deploy satellite everywhere. There are challenges on that aspect of it. In fact, I will touch upon, on the technology side, everything is complementing. When you talk about 5G has its own space in the market. When you talk about backbone, which is the FTTH, backbone as a fiber and FTTH as an access layer, it has its own space in the overall telecom setup as such. And satellite at the edge, when you talk about rural community deployments in the rural side of it. On the right side of the slide, if you guys see, there's a tree showing up the highway in between, which is a super highway which talks about fiber. A lot of convergence has happened in the data side, which is the data centers. If you see, a lot of data centers have started converging and bringing down that at one point as such. Similarly, on the telecom side, this has not happened. It is just evolving right now. Everybody has been in the silos, whether it is the telcos like Jios or Airtels, or even in the ISP layer, when you talk about everything is in the silo. Unless until there's a convergence of them, the whole ecosystem will never play as such. It will be always, price will always play a rough game on that in terms of that we can't reach it because we don't have a very effective, cost-effective solution as such. Why should everybody deploy fiber to reach it at every point? You need to have a cohesive approach rather than not complementing but competing in that aspect of it. So to be to be more connected, you need to have an equitable and prosperous society. And for that, you need to embrace the innovation. Innovation is the change, basically the change in terms of mindset. All the players in this game have to change the mindset. If you see, this could be what we are seeing as a network right now, the convergence of the connected network with regard to whether it's optical, whether it's FSOC, whether it's wireless. Each has its own room to play in this whole network as such. But the challenge is same, that this is all what you see in the urban tier 1, tier 2 and max to tier 3. The moment you go to tier 4 and tier 4 towns, which is your 35 to 40% of the population, you see a complete different disjointed network as such. I think that is where you need to have convergence with regard to all the players which are there in that. So I'll just touch point on one aspect, which are the challenges on this. Obviously the infrastructure cost, which everybody's talking, and infrastructure cost is the biggest spoiler in this reach element. Speed is growing, people are getting 100 Mbps, 1 gig, which is basically in the metros. I don't think rural market needs 300 Mbps and 100 Mbps. For them, 20 Mbps, good network would be a good enough play for them from that point of view, because what they need is a basic entertainment point of view. And now with the kids becoming more intelligent, they do talk about using it for the education aspect. They have schools remotely also coming in some rural areas. Some good rural areas have made changes in that aspect. Second is regulatory hurdles, which a lot of things have changed in last 1.5 years in with regard right of way, making changes in that aspect of it, bringing down the cost. But obviously there again is a center versus state kind of a combination where you have challenges. How to get those policies deployed into the last mile are the challenges right now. And obviously the technological compatibility, which a lot of synergy has started building up, but still there are gaps in that aspect of it. And as I was telling in the morning, FSOC is a very good technology, but you need to look at how FSOC can become point to multi-point to make it more price sensitive on that aspect of it. So just to ponder, I'm leaving some thoughts on it. Obviously one important aspect is whether it is in the value chain. Everybody has a role to play, and this value chain is not just mobile operators. This value chain is MVNOs, it is ISPs, and even PDOs at the last mile. Because at the end of the day, you're helping in entrepreneurship at the last mile, and the PDOs play a big role in that aspect of it. Network and infra sharing. Unless until we do this across the whole value chain, you will never be able to improve. I think I will be again coming next year and telling that we just added 2% more, even though government has come up with a new plan on the Bharat broadband point of view. There's a new tender and all that. We all need to see that whether we should use that pipe as one pipe rather than putting 10 pipes of their own. They're putting a huge pipe, so use that pipe as a combination of that. We need to remember we are not competing, we are complementing. All of us are complementing this network to improve lives of the society. And that is a simple thing which we can do. I think these are the points I leave behind. Thank you. If anyone has questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh. We can take 2 or 3 questions, and max 5 minutes have been allowed. 2 to 3 questions. So if anyone, because we didn't take after the speakers, as earlier Vivek was doing, I thought because time was constrained. But we'll take some 5 minutes now. 1 or 2 quick.
Have you considered power line communications like this?
Power line communication, probably none covered, but that could be one additional factor which can, in fact, be supplementing the fiber connectivity. So you are right, that could be, and that is being done also in many places. But for rural area and remote area, that can be for long haul basically, not for distribution network.
Power reaches almost every household. So
pardon?
Power reaches every household.
Yeah,
right? That's
that
the easiest
can be
thing.
one supply. Yeah,
for MBBS level of broadband
right,
connectivity.
I think Shashi can next time think of power line being added here. So that was not covered, you are right. Yeah.
Again, just a small question.
Yeah, please.
Using the visible light communication?
Digital line?
No, visible light. Just
oh, light communication here. That also could be one option. But then light communication in a way is covered. FSO was covered.
No.
Visible light you are talking of.
Visible light.
Would you like to say something, 1 or 2 point?
I'm asking, but whether they are using the visible light, just a bulb.
Right now, I don't think it is being used. Not to, or if any speaker can probably throw some light. But it can be one way probably. That also can be thought of. But right now, I don't think. Anywhere, if you have any idea.
So it is being used, sir. So I thought that some of the companies might be using the visible light communication inside the room.
Any company
inside the room.
No, I don't think right now here anybody on this platform can throw some light on that.
Can we close now, sir?
Yeah, I think then we'll close. And
would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I think in summing up, I can say the session which was to cover all the technologies, and they are all complementing each other. The for broadband to penetrate in the country and be really useful for the masses, all the technologies have to work in sync. It cannot be this or that. And all the technologies in fact have advanced to an extent that they are doing a good contribution to the growth of broadband, including satellite, fiber, satellite and mobile of course. And some more which were discussed like power or visible light communication and all can be supplementing them. So I think but there is a lot of gap, as we said, that we are only less than 50% of broadband penetration, and a lot more has to be done. And we hope coming years we should be covering that. So that's all I would like to say.
Thank you very much, sir. And may I now request you as a session chair to kindly do the honors of presenting mementos to our distinguished speakers. We present to Mr. Mustafa Gholam, Regional Lead APAC, Taara. We present to Mr. Saket Saraugi, Director Sales India and SAC, Commscope. We present to Mr. Sumit Agarwal, Global Manager, Pre-Sales, Norden Communication. We present to Mr. N. Jairam, Senior Director Marketing, Hughes Communication India. And to Mr. Rajesh Kaul, Founder and Director, LMES Connective. And inviting Mr. Shaildhar to kindly do the honors of presenting to our session chair, Mr. Kuldeep Goyal, former CMD, BSNL. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for pitching in and taking over the session. Thank you very much indeed. I request for a group photograph of the panel, please. And ladies and gentlemen, we now break for lunch. The lunch break is of 30 minutes only. We'll go ahead with the proceedings of the next session at 30 minutes past 2 at 2:30 sharp. We request everyone to kindly be seated. Also, ladies and gentlemen, a kind request to all our participants, whenever you leave the venue, kindly submit your lanyard at the registration counter so that we can recycle and reuse it. Once again, requesting everyone to kindly deposit your lanyard at the registration counter whenever you leave the venue so that we can recycle and reuse it. Thank you.